welcome to F1 Racers,
a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of Lemon Champ or Lucky Track Dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate.
as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussion,
Tips, tricks,
as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
whether it's on the spot,
hella sweet,
Or we're lucky enough in
Chrissy,
Chrissy,
I give you just the tip.
we're sure you'll giggle a little.
and learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Tim.
Hello.
And I'm Eric.
And we're F1 Racers, and we're struggling tonight, and we're all pretty sober, so that's really sad. Welcome to a second-generation nailhead episode of our podcast. The Buick 364 was introduced in 1957 and made it all the way through till 1961. The special series car came standard with the 250 horsepower two-barrel carburetor version. However, other models got the 300 horsepower four-barrel version. Wow!
Nice.
Yay,
great.
carburetors.
Said no.
Old
Said
school.
very few people anywhere.
Anymore.
Anymore.
my
That's
age or
even
younger.
better.
Yeah.
No. All right. What you working on, Eric?
All right. Well, did this racy thing. We'll talk about that. Got in crazy late, so I'm still hungover from the race. I've been working it. Trying to put together this long, trying to get the whole center dash put back together with my new gauges and blah blah blah. Other than that, prepping for a kick-ass Halloween party on Saturday.
Fantastic.
Sounds like fun.
Nice.
That is fantastic. All right,
Okay.
Chris, what are you working on?
We went racing and had to pack for that and had to unpack for that. But aside from that, since the last show, I went to the junkyard one day to get Mazda parts to turn the Ford Escape engine spare that we have into a Mazda 3 engine, including like a timing cover and harmonic balancer and an intake manifold and a valve cover and some other stuff like that. So a junkyard day is always nice. And when there's four Mazda 3s within about 30 feet of each other, that makes it easy. So got everything I needed.
And one of them already had the front bumper off, so you didn't have to work around a whole lot.
Yeah, it really made it so much easier. Yeah,
That's
Great.
good. That
It's
is
great.
good junkyard karma right there.
it is.
So true.
Chrissy, what have you been up to? Why don't
Oh,
you
I
tell
was
Tell
packing.
the listeners.
Packing. We made our house a mess. I'm pretty sure last time we were talking about how much everything is in my den, and I just threw everything in one room. While I was at work, Chris was packing the car, so we had things kind of everywhere, and didn't forget a whole lot, I don't think. Then we went racing, and then we had to unpack. So we took the half day yesterday, so we did a lot of unpacking. And actually, I just cleaned up the house. I just ran the vacuum and washed the floors and tried to clean up after you make the house a mess. It's nice to just start over fresh and clean. So busy over here. Tim, the only one that we haven't talked to in a while, because all of us saw each other less than 48 hours ago. Tim, what are you working on?
Well, sadly, I wasn't racing with you guys, but I was in Austin, Texas. Guess where I was doing in Austin, Texas? If you said go to a Formula One race, you would be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you said I went to the UT Georgia game, and the theme of the golf tournament with my buddy Ray is bogeys and stogies. We made a lot of bogeys. We smoked a lot of stogies. We had a lot of cocktails and a ton of fun. Amy and I got back yesterday, so now we're kind of unpacking and settling back in. So it was fun.
That's crazy to
Awesome.
think that they had two large, how many large events? I mean, I've never been to Austin, so I'm sure it's big enough to have all these things go on. But, well, they said there were 400,000, which means that because there's like 3 to 4 days you can go into F1 races. But that's still a freaking lot of people that are just coming into this area plus a golf tournament, which is what you were there for. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it can. Last year, the TSA line was 2 hours long. There were people. Might have been 2 years ago actually, but there were people literally abandoning their rental cars in the entrance, like to the rental car return, and then running so they could catch their flight. It was like
Wow.
ultimate disaster. So
Was the airfare really expensive? Also,
it wasn't bad actually. We flew on Southwest, got decent flights direct. So, well, I'm sorry, not direct, one stop each way. So, not too bad.
We've avoided any time around Coda because for work purposes, because of the airfare just jumps up high.
Yeah, we went in on Tuesday and left Monday, so maybe that was more of the off times. But I'm sure Sunday night was a zoo, and maybe Friday and that sort of thing. But we were there for long enough that we didn't see a big impact. So
cool,
not too bad.
Awesome. All right, let's get into it. It's news time. I think I can hear it from upstairs. I can hear it in Chris's microphone. That's amazing. Mercury Sable was met with a 1,000-pound pumpkin, and Ronan Glone from The Drive told us all about it. Apparently, a whole town in Maine gets together and watch a crane drop a 1,000-pound pumpkin on a Mercury Sable, and no one was sad about it. Apparently, it's an annual tradition in the town of Damariscotta, Maine, and it's celebrated every aspect of the pumpkin, included its underrated ability to flatten a car when dropped from a crane. While the festival has been held annually for 17 years, the pumpkin drop went away at the start of the pandemic, didn't come back till this year. Organizers selected a particularly huge pumpkin to celebrate its return. Sadly, the pumpkin didn't fare any better than the Mercury in its battle of the guts of both players splattered everywhere. A small town got a kick out of it. No one is sad for the Mercury Sable. Pretty much.
I'd love to see something like that at Lemons with like a quarter scale car, plastic car, and a pumpkin.
Yeah, you could probably make that happen, Tim.
You could make that happen.
The mini people's curse.
Yep.
You could just do that. I'm pretty sure I have a Viper over there that we could drop a pumpkin on. I can make that happen for you.
Yeah.
I do. And I have a
That'd be
pumpkin.
Your nephews have already thrown it on the floor a number of times, so how bad can it be?
Still has some guts to lose, I think.
Yep. All right. Well, while looking for news and notes, I found this interesting automotive history story from Benjamin Hunting Haggerty. Did you know that since the 1960s, Ford has stored cars and had other operations inside an old Kansas City limestone mine? I didn't, but now I do. The Bethany Falls limestone mine, it was a 1940s operation that dug deep into the 270 million-year-old bedrock underpinning Kansas City, Missouri. The mine operations had dwindled by the 1960s as demand waned, but the massive space was there, and it was within the Kansas City limits. So it was a unique complex of stable, moisture-free, man-made cave with a depth up to 160 feet. The temperature inside the network of tunnels and chambers hovers between 68 and 72 degrees all year round. Humidity sits at a comfortable 40%. So, thanks to the miners' use of an extraction technique called the room and pillar method, the enormous underground cavities left behind are supported by 16-foot pillars. The space is open, rectangular, and expansive enough to accommodate nearly anything that can fit through its above-ground drive-in entrance ramps. Ford started storing parts and cars there in the mid-60s in support of their Kansas City plant, which currently builds F-150s and Transits. The 7.8 million available square footage located underground is served by a stunning 10 miles of roads, and those figures are subject to change as Subtropolis, as it's known, is constantly expanding. And Hunt Midwest claims 55 million square feet of usable space would be available in total should the entire cave system be developed. In addition to Ford, a number of vehicle upfitters also occupy the space, allowing for their work to be close to Ford, but also completely free of rain, cold, heat, snow, hail, and plus, it's hard to beat the inherent security of those thick limestone walls.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, great.
Good find.
It's a slow news week, so found other things.
Well, At Charlotte Motor Speedway on October 22nd, which is today we're recording, EV Safety Racing Conference will be featuring industry experts in the lithium-ion battery technology, high voltage powertrain, electric vehicle system integration, and more, including our very own John Pagel, self-proclaimed tech tyrant and race director of the 24 Hours of Lemons. Electric and hybrid vehicles and race cars are being seen more and more frequently, and the safety issues associated with this segment have posed new challenges for race series and track safety protocols. This one-day conference presents information to motorsport, industry professionals, emergency responders, car clubs, enthusiasts on prevention, mitigation, and response to catastrophic EV failures in the context of racing. Many advancements in motorsports safety has come about from lessons learned over the years. We've seen the safety issues associated with electric vehicles on the streets. Today, the motorsports industry is in a perfect position to prepare for those types of issues on track. Thanks for speaking at this, Mr. Pagel, and for ever trying to not let us kill ourselves.
Speaking of not killing ourselves, there's always something interesting on racing junk. Need a winter car? Want something completely unique? Here's a custom build that is essentially a 2013 version of a K5 Blazer. That even has a removable top like the original. From the ad, started life as a four-door Chevy Tahoe, swapping out the four-door body with a regular truck cab, shortening up the box, gutting the rear cab and front box panel, then sectioning the floor pan from original four-door Tahoe to bolt right back on original frame. Best Engineering World of Wheels winner, multiple Best Truck and many other awards, gratefully sponsored by custom Katzin leather interior, reflex bed liner, and Optima battery. Must be definitely seen, one of a kind. Removable roof as seen in pictures, and it drove 1,600 miles for Vegas SEMA show in 2018. This could be all yours, Timber, for an asking price of $35,000 in southern Manitoba, Canada. I'm not sure if that's actual dollars or loonies, or doesn't matter. You probably have a free toque with it. They even make sure to post 13 pictures, so that means they have the pro membership.
They do.
Yeah,
You had me
it's
at
quite.
custom
It's nice.
catskin leather.
Yeah,
I mean, look at this thing.
Cat
This
skin.
looks like it was really well done. If this is
yeah.
your game, then this looks great.
I feel like if we should, do we have to apologize for not being able to show this
There's-
on a screen?
There's a link to it in our show notes.
Yeah, you should just go
There's a
there
link in
and
the
look
show
at
We had
it.
enough trouble getting this part to work, let alone
Right?
the other things. So
This
that's
has-
what we're gonna do.
This says it has 48,000 views on it.
That's
Ooh,
a
that
lot. 48,786. That's a lot of people.
And it's only
That's-
been up for like 2 weeks now. Wow.
That's many
I don't know.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's posted from other places. Who knows?
My dad had a red
But-
and white K5 Blazer back in the day. His was the 6.2 liter diesel, which was a terrible engine. And even by the quality standards of a 1982 General Motors product, this was so bad, he traded it in after 3 years just to get rid of it because of how terrible a vehicle it was. Ended up with a 85 Chevy Beauville van instead, which
You
was
still
fine.
talk about that.
Ooh,
So, Chrissy, I think the 48,793 views doesn't tell the story, but the 11 saves that really tells the story. So look at 11 people that gave it the heart.
Yep.
Yep.
Or is that like a like button on most socials? Don't
Yeah,
know.
who knows?
Anyway. Okay, it's
Sure.
upcoming races time. Okay, Lucky Dog is at Pitt this weekend. So there are just 26 cars, but many of those cars are our Lemons friends. So Silent but Deadly's Mustang, Scope Creeps bring in their Omni and Aspen, the Mercury will be there, Cheese Bolts Focus, and can't forget Garage Heroes E36, and so many others. Have a great time this time. It'll be great for them to experience. Oh, it's listed as 36, but okay.
Okay. Great. Have fun, people.
Yeah, have fun.
fun.
I think that's the
Be
only thing
safe.
that's going on for a while.
Pay your fees on time, and you won't have to go all the way to pit race.
Or it's closer
ready?
for us, and that's why it's not so bad.
Yep.
Yep. Okay,
sounds
it's
like they need
recent
legal
results.
representation.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Speaking of legal representation, it's recent results time. Okay. We're going to talk all about lemons at New Hampshire, but we'll give you the previews of the awards and what happened. Overall, went to Scooby Doobies in their Audi. Haterade took B class in their E30 that it looks like it probably should have retired a while ago, but and we questioned if it actually has won B, but definitely not recently. So, and then the Hack Factory Supra Carlo came in 1C, which is awesome. That car did really well. I was continually surprised at how fast it is now. Not fast. It's fast enough, but it came up quick, and I was like, oh, that car used to be really slow. So it was great.
Yep.
Okay. No.
Eric?
Anyone?
Oh, Champ Car, yeah, and Champ Car, October
What?
19th,
Nope.
October.
You're Eric, you're blue.
Keep scrolling.
Blue.
Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
Recent
Keep
results.
scrolling.
Results.
I
I'll keep
have-
going
I
then. In the
have-
meantime, Org Choice went
Yeah,
to
go for
Ram
it.
Van Racing, which is their Scion XA. These poor kids are so tragic.
Shout out, because they might be listeners now. So shout out
Right.
to Ram Van.
They have
yes.
such a great attitude, but they just have no idea what they're doing. But their attitude is so wonderful. We helped them with an alignment and with brake bleeding at one evening. And they did all the work while I drank rum and told them what to do, but they did it and successfully did it and got it all working, and that's great. And this car is just it's so floppy and so slow, but they just kept going and working on it. And again,
It hit some
attitudes will
things.
count so much, right? It did hit some things. It spun out a
hit
lot
some
because they put a
things.
brake bias controller in it, and that wasn't set very well, so it just would spin and spin and spin, and yeah. But
Which isn't confidence inspiring for a bunch of I feel like they're kids. I am gonna say
they're inexperienced racers. We'll put it that way.
okay,
Yep.
sure.
So,
Yes.
Halloween Beats Gasoline went to the ATS/ABBA Racing. This was a bunch of drunken Englishmen who bought a Rover 620 in England, which is a 94 Honda Accord, essentially, that has had some Rover bodywork and some wood trim put in it, but mechanically it's a Honda. They shipped it over here at great expense, had it caged, and drove it around
Right-hand
most
drive.
of the weekend. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They had a very well, thoroughly planned and consistent British auto industry on strike theme, because that's what the British auto industry did.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what
And
they
just
did.
kept going with it, having a lot of fun. So well done.
Their
When
tech
Kim handed-
inspection was amazing. They're very witty in between, so they would be fighting about something, and then they say, "What time is it?" And one guy was like, "Tea time." Like that wasn't like it was like in the middle of a chant, and so it was. If it wasn't actually practice, it was amazing. It was very good. They're not all British, you know that.
Yeah,
whole
there were a
team
couple
was-
of Americans who were helping them
Correct.
do things around here. Yes,
Yes.
but
Yep.
they were a lot of fun.
There was cardboard signs with half-ass sticks with spikes hanging out of with not actual. The sticks were a little dangerous. I was carrying one around for a while, and I wasn't even part of the protest, but I thought it was funny. So
They were just like bits of a pallet with some
right,
nails.
that's
through it.
what
Yeah,
they were.
it's
Yes,
terrible.
that's exactly what they were.
Yeah.
Very professional.
Yeah. And IOE went to Valtep Racing in their Cordoba. This was the blue Cordoba. The white one has already won it. The blue Cordoba got it this time. They have figured out how to keep those Cordobas just running, and they have gotten to the point where they're not just constantly in the way, but they're making those things work sometimes. At one point, didn't one of those Cordobas spin out in front of somebody in our team? I think they did.
Right in front of me. Right in front of me. I mean, it was to the left of me, and then it was in front of me. And if I didn't take evasive maneuvers, it would have been me.
Wow. I think the blue one's faster. Right?
I think so.
Well, yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
So you got
all
Cordoba.
relative.
All right, I'm gonna-
frontal.
Yeah.
I'm glad. They
All right,
didn't
I'll do
keep
what I
track.
missed. I screwed up before. So I got screwed, went to Park Bench Racing in a Buick Regal. They went through a few transmissions, and then an engine.
There's a whole long
sad.
story Mary had. I didn't get all of it, but Yeah, whatever. It didn't.
It
It
was
didn't
sad.
work. They did definitely leave a. It's one of those times where you see a line of oil going off into the distance,
Oh,
and
so
you can follow it for a really long way. And then the track actually then even put their little like tractor with the oil dryer and just did it, so that became like an even more obvious as it followed the path all the way past the garages, around the garages, out to the road, up around the other side, down into the paddock, down the wrong side, eventually like two-way parking spot with a car that's broken. Yeah, it's like that the trail of shame.
Well, and
Yeah.
then the one in
Oh,
the paddock, it never went away because there wasn't enough
Right.
cars to go over all of the oil dry. So like
Yep.
when you took the scooter over it, you just got this big plume of
Yep.
crap that normally goes away on track.
Yeah, they're fixed somehow. And they had to go to Rhode Island for a part, and that didn't work. And then the flex plate broke or something. They had to pull the transmission out again, and whatever it was, it all just broke.
sad, sad, sad. All right, on Saturday morning, up right off of up the hill, the car caught fire. Right, and you could see it, and oh no, it was
was a
mostly smoke.
Big
It was
fire.
a huge amount of smoke.
Oh my
They
god.
finally
Fire
put it
back.
out, multiple extinguishers, and then they had to use the speedy dry, and then they had to go back for more speedy dry to get all the oil and crap that had gotten on the track. And that was the Fiasco Rally Sports in their Mercury. Well, wouldn't you know it, midday Sunday, they're back at tech to get their car safety checked, and they went back out there. So huge heroic fix to them. Very impressive, actually.
Yeah.
And
They
then Hello
ran that
Sweet.
crispy thing all
Oh, yeah.
weekend.
They
The
sure
medium
did.
rare Mercury wins again.
I can only imagine what they had
might
to
be more than medium rare.
What an incredible smell you've discovered.
Medium, medium well.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Hella Sweet went to fill in Judge Ian. Ian would roll in there on his little blue four-wheeler and abuse the crap out of people as they would come in for their black flag. It was hilarious. So well deserved. Hella Sweet.
He
to
just
Ian.
he would just wheel up to anybody and just hassle them, and then eventually the judges are like, "Well, here's a robe." So
Yeah, they went from here's all female and Ian. So yes, he just showed up. It was awesome. He did a great job. He's very witty.
that's
I was
amazing.
impressed with
Yeah.
his.
Yeah.
That is
All right. That was Lemons at New Hampshire. All the awards.
yep,
Well, then Champ was at Road America. And
we have no idea what happened there.
No,
I got to pulled up. We're good.
you do?
We're good.
Okay,
Class,
great.
Class C. C goes to him dudes in their 19325. Class D goes to the Good, Bad, and Ugly in their 1980 Corvette. They won by 2 laps. Class A, it was car number 57 Silver Martini Racing in their Miata 1999 Miata by 6 laps. B was HD Motorsports in their 2002 Ford Focus, won by 18 laps. And Class F, they won only because they were the only ones in Class F. So good for you, Black Pearl Racing, in your Miata.
You win.
Hey, everyone's a winner.
You win, and you lose. You suck again. The 7-hour race, Class C, went to Two Brothers Racing in their 350Z Nissan. They won by 3 laps. Class A went to Third Gear Pulls in their Honda Civic, won by 3 laps. Asteri Motorsports took B in their 91 Toyota MR2, and Black Pearl wins F Class again by themselves. You win again. and D, Motor Crap Racing in their 1988 Ford Thunderbird TC. Get after it. And
Cool.
I skipped EC Class because screw those guys.
Wow.
pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Good job if you went there. It's the Surfy
Rafi checked in on our Normie Cars episode on YouTube. Hey guys, Rafi here. Just wanted to say I love this podcast. I did miss Chris and Chrissy, but the time and content was great with Just Mental and Tim. I also have my favorite Normie car. Now I have quite the fleet at the moment. The 78 Dodge Diplomat, the 86 Toyota MR2 race car, and the 07 Saturn Sky Redline, love that car, are all so much fun, but my favorite Normie do everything car, of course, is my 1997 lifted Lincoln Town Car. Now, this really is my prom date's grandma's Lincoln that ended up one of my best truck friends' hands. As many 1990 Lincoln Town Cars' Achilles heel, the air ride completely failed. And when my truck friend got it, looked it up, and said, hey, you could fit a Ford F-250. Its suspension bolts right in. He said, hell yeah, FOMO coat parts interchangeability. So he swapped it in, put some 30s on it, raised it high in the sky, but lowered the MPGs down to the low teens. Anyway, when I purchased it from him, I swapped the big MT tires back to stock size tires, and the MPGs went back to 19, and I drive it everywhere. So yeah, I'm loving my Normie leather cladded special edition Lincoln. Gonna rip out the dashboard on Sunday to fix the blend door actuator. Great job and keep up the good work. P.S. You should drive the twin engine Focus sometime. And posted on the Instagrams and our Facebook, our trailer prep before heading to New Hampshire. We took your inputs as well, and here they are.
Yeah, so we got the answers were hilarious. So on Facebook, I asked what kind of prep you do. So Greg S said, I think about repairing the damage of a shredded tire did to my fenders. I took out the date codes on the tires and visualized them not exploding. It's all about good vibes.
Yep. Al Jones said if it's Mental's trailer, he has to make sure it's going to fit any of the bridges, tunnels, and overpasses he may encounter on his route. # Moon Trailer. Randy Bish said, I usually just eat some chips and watch someone else think about repacking the bearings. If it's an electric issue, I eat some chips and plan to fix it later that day for at least 3 months.
I love how Bish is taking it to a whole new level, and like no one has to even be working on the car just to eat chips.
Yep.
He's thinking
funny.
about it.
Michael K says, yearly bearing repack, brake check and adjust. Check the welds on the spring purchase since this has been an issue. Now that it has been operating 10 years, likely going to pull and replace the plastic bushings in the spring pivots and the load leveler, teeter-totter between the springs. Sasha R says, kick the wheels on the dolly to make sure the bearings are still tight. They always are. Pump up the tires. Light is good. And Tyler Stank says, I thought trailers were maintenance-free items.
Thanks for your comments. A lot of them were hilarious.
I'm amazed no one said check the wheel torque. Like no one torques their wheels.
That's not everybody's. There were some normal ones. I picked the ones that were funny. They were more jokes than there were what do you actually do. So there's that. Either way you answered, we appreciate it.
Yeah, I think Tyler's attitude is the way a lot of people think about these is trailer maintenance. I never use those words together. I don't know how to use them in a sentence. Huh.
And they're usually the ones on the side of the road.
Yeah. I like the one that said, I didn't know you had to do maintenance on a U-Haul trailer.
Right?
That's maybe the most dangerous. You never know.
Yes. That is fair.
All right. He never has problems because she never drives with unmaintained trailers.
That's correct.
It's Chrissy's mom.
Yep. And thank you for all of the cookies. She made
so good.
She made a lot of them. Tried to send some home with everybody as I do. They were great.
Did you get through them all on your ride home, Eric?
No, I've been hoarding them. I still have like half of them left.
You're hiding?
I slowly, no, I don't hide them. I just slowly eat them because they're so good.
They do well in the freezer, and then you can take them out one at a time and they stay alive.
I won't get that.
And you don't even have to defrost them. Chris just eats them right out of the freezer because typically they're like. You can't see Eric doing a little dance.
It's a cookie dance. Duh.
It was so good.
Cookie dance. I kind of feel like
No.
somebody needs to make someone do the cookie dance before Chrissy gives them the open lid of cookies. You have to do the cookie dance first.
I might do that. I wanted to shout out to we
Reroll.
already talked about Ram Van and our friends there that hopefully you're now listeners. And the Eggplant Golf, it was Premature something? What's their team name?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember. I remember
Eggplant
their
Golf,
names.
we
It's
got
all the
to-
Kevins and Nate.
Nick. I'm pretty sure it's Nick.
Sorry.
Okay, pretty close. So yeah, they came over and asked us if we could go on a track walk. We did. And then the next day I was talking to Nick, pretty sure. And I said he was driving behind me, like really well, like staying with me, that I was actually really surprised. So I said, "Who is in the car at 2:00?" And he was like, he's like, "I'm thinking it's me." I was like, "Oh my God, what did I do? Did I do something wrong?" And I said, and I was like, "Oh my God, you did so well today. You were just following with me." And he was like, and so then he said, "Oh, I was so concerned that I did something wrong." And he was like, "Yeah, I felt great." He's like, after listening to the podcast and then the track walk and talking it all through, he's like, my confidence level was through the roof. He was like, I just felt so great in the car. I thought things were going really well. And I was like, and I saw it because he hung with me for laps and laps. So shout out to you guys. They were awesome. Really nice meeting the whole team. We had a great time with them. So yeah, shout out for new friends. And there's plenty of other people we met too, but those are the two teams that we got to hang out with this weekend more than we had before.
That's so cool. Super cool.
It is so cool. Okay, it's big topic time. We've already been talking about it plenty, but we're going to talk about we were at New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Yeah, this has been like, how many years have we gone to New Hampshire for this race? I mean, probably 2010 or 11 was our first race there as a Lemons team. So it's been a long time. We've been there a bunch.
Yeah.
So, but great weekend. And the weather this weekend was phenomenal. It was
great.
70 degrees and gorgeous sun every single day. And at night it got down to the 30s, which is great because our coolers stayed nice and cold. But
it wasn't icy. So
No.
like icy. It was a little frosty. You needed a jacket in the morning, but yeah, there was not a cloud in the sky, which made it so that like it was almost burning
not
weather.
too windy, because sometimes it can be really windy at New Hampshire because there's nothing.
Yep.
The wind just blows through inside that stadium. So it was a wonderful weekend. So let's talk about our trips there. Chrissy and I left at like 8:00 in the morning because
On Thursday.
we were already packed.
On Thursday,
Yep, already packed and ready to go, and a fairly uneventful drive up. Got
Yeah,
about
like
10
no
miles.
traffic.
Yeah, 10 miles to the gallon or so in the Cadillac. Gas at
Stopped
Costco. Stopped
to
at
the
the
liquor
store.
store. Woo!
Yep.
The liquor store.
Was
Was
Greg there?
They had the
No.
signs
Hold
up,
on, I'll
the
get to that.
welcome-
Hold on.
Yeah. They had the welcome
had-
Greg banners out, but Greg wasn't there yet. But in its anticipation, the band was starting to set up too to play the welcome fanfare when we were there, but they weren't playing it yet. So
We told them, we're like, we know he's on his way.
he's
They're
a little
asking-
late, but
Yeah?
don't worry, he's coming. So
got
we got to the tracks and unloaded everything, and was originally planning on having dinner with some of my family who was up there, but that didn't work out. So we ended up going to dinner with staff in Concord at a Barley Tap Room, something like that in Concord. It was
Yep.
very good.
It was downtown. Yep, we had a couple beers and hung around, and talked with the staff, which is always fun.
Yep, good
Yep.
times.
I went in with the Towley team, which was a whole different experience than you guys had there. I ended up having to leave a little late coming from Virginia, so I didn't get up there till 2:30. And at that time, they told me, I'm late, but then Greg wasn't ready to go, so it was okay. And Bruce kept saying, he's like, I told you, doesn't matter what time you're going to be here, still not going to be ready to go. So it was all good. Pull out the RV, pull out the big motorhome, and the brakes don't work. Like literally, the brakes don't work. The emergency brake doesn't stop the thing from moving. You could barely stop it from going backwards. So they said that, well, the reason the brakes didn't work now was because I was late. Because I was late, they went and had lunch instead of checking to see whether the brakes were working. So that's my fault. So it was a lot of fun. They called the guy who was working on the brakes most recently to find out that he admitted it quickly that he didn't set it right with the right air pressure and blah, blah, blah. I fixed it. we loaded up and we were on our way. But we set our we looked at the Waze for the liquor store, and it said we were going to be there 15 minutes before it closed. So they had to hustle. So all the way there as fast as possible. No police, no extra trailer wheels flying off. But we did make it to the liquor store 10 minutes before it closed. And we all had a list. I had a list of what Greg wanted: the case of this, case of that. We went
supermarket
to the back.
sweep as soon as they
Supermarket sweep. Everybody has
Fantastic.
4 carts and they're running around.
The poor band must have been exhausted playing all day.
Well, they were, yeah. So we got everything for him. Oh, look at that little kitty. And got it loaded up and back, got to the track, all of 20 minutes later. I think it's all it takes to get there from there. And happy to start drinking rum.
Did you? So we played the over under of how much we spent. We don't have to air that here. But how you had just case did you go up to the guy and just say I need a case of these 10 things kind of thing, or just
I literally ran in the store.
Yeah.
With a shopping cart, pushing it, and I said, "We need cases." And the guy's like, "Meet me in the back," and I all the way to the back, and I get there, and Greg and the other guys didn't run as fast. But Darren and I ran in.
Don't run as fast.
No, they didn't. I don't know if they can, but they didn't.
No, they can't.
Everyone who's met Greg knows. And
Bruce
Bruce
can't
knows the
walk.
answer. Bruce is still hobbling,
Bruce.
right?
Bruce was working hard. He was
Peg
working
legs.
He comes in his cart.
He's like,
Scooty.
Bruce is in the cart.
But we got out there, and I gave the list to the guy. He's like, okay, and he brings it back out, and I take care of the one things that Greg wants, and made him buck at the front, and I picked up 3 things for myself, and all was good. So we got out of there with 3 minutes to spare. So, but yeah, I think Uncle Dave
were cursing you. Fortunately, you either aren't going back or aren't going back anytime soon, because these people are probably like, come on, these guys just want to.
We weren't the last one in there.
Oh, okay, good. The
Yeah,
store is so big,
us.
and it's
Well,
fun
they hadn't met their
stuff.
sales goals for the day yet until Greg arrived, so it was okay.
For the
We
month,
can
you mean.
close now.
Right, yes,
Month.
exactly.
For the month.
Close now.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. Anyway, that was good. Had a fun rest of the night.
Yep.
Nothing special
Yeah,
actually happened.
you guys, ate dinner that you had in the RV, and we drank some. Started the bars were on the shot. Bars were on the shots. I am not drinking. I promise.
Just thinking about it makes you feel that way.
I was thinking about the shot wheel and Malort. The bars were on the shots, and that was happening. So, yes.
Now we were at least drinking some of the nice rum first. That started off the night, so that was perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, several of us were not driving the next day, so whatever. Friday rolls around. It's a beautiful morning. It's a little chilly. No one's in a real hurry. We make some breakfast.
I'm working.
Yep.
So there's that. So I'm
we made some breakfast. I ended up going to the front to sign up 2 cars for testing, because Tally was testing, and then Greg's friends, the Piscatellis, they were testing their Mini that's going to be racing next year. So they brought that to shake it down a little bit. It's got a cage in it now. They tried to shake it down at Thompson, but it went to limp mode immediately. They fixed that, so now they shook it down today, and they were able to go out there for a good couple hours with it and really get used to it. And they really haven't spent much time on tracks. So this is a perfect opportunity for them to do so and get better. And they got to the point where they.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. They were hanging out with Tally. So Tally was.
Well, Tally,
is that what you're going to say?
Well, what they would do is the Tally would lead them around to show them about where to go. Right. Then it's they had the radio on. They talked to them. Eventually, Darren flipped and went to the back behind them and said, "All right, now go. A little further to the right. Get out to your track out. Get into your apex. Things like that." He'd give them coaching from the other car, so that was nice. By the end, young Jimmy got the car moving enough that the stock brake fluid and brake pads weren't real happy. So, but he did the smart thing, is once they got soft, he backed off. He came in, he did the mature decisions. So that was great to see from him. Lived to drive another day. So they did well there. And 2:00 we went through tech. So Eric, why don't you tell the fine folks at home about what our themes were this weekend?
Who was driving the Mazda this weekend?
Good question.
Yep.
It was 3 of us plus Chris Champion from Tetanus.
Yeah.
In his first race back in 1 year and 10 days since his prior event.
Since it's Sausage Fest.
Yes.
Yeah, and Chris,
I
if you don't know Chris, sorry, go ahead.
I continue to congratulate him when he got out of the car Saturday and said, "Here's a preview." He doesn't roll the car, and so I continue to congratulate when he got out of the car and say, "You didn't roll the car today." He took it very well.
Yep.
So,
Chris is like an immediate team member. He's not a ride and drive. He's way more than that. Fantastic in every way. So love him. He's an awesome guy. I met him for the first time like 5 days ago, and he's like, I trust him with my life.
Yeah. Chris is
All
great.
right. So
As
have
usual,
you
though,
been
people who have
harmed?
their own teams, especially multi-car teams, make great arrive and drives because everyone
much.
knows what needs to get done and how to do it.
They
And it's
get it.
great. And Chris is just a wonderful human being too. So sorry to interrupt, Eric.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk about theming for a bit. First of all, we had a Oktoberfest theme for the general weekend. We thought we'd have a big bar, but unfortunately that didn't come. So that didn't work out.
that was
But we did have,
like half of my spiel here is that I had the dress
bring
and
the
I
bar.
needed a
Okay.
bar.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I
probably
had
my
beer
fault for being
steins.
late.
Yeah.
No,
You forgot it at
God,
lunch.
because then they went and ate lunch.
But that was still good. We still had the wheel O shot, which was let the fate of the wheel decide whether you're going to be happy or not so happy. But you take your shot, you take your lumps, and it was good. Everybody enjoyed that all weekend. And our other theme, our secondary theme, and/or our primary theme, was, if everybody remembers, the little bit of controversy that went into New Hampshire at the Lemons, because for the first time ever, they sold out, and they sold out all 120 slots. And people who didn't
then
check their
some.
emails, and then some, didn't check their emails, got waitlisted. So, as any good scandal deserves a theme, Waitlist Gate was born, and we, the lawyers of Three Pedal and Mafia, were here to make things right. It's not just about making money. I mean, not just about making money. It's about justice and the common person's need for to do what is right and to make sure the man does not oppress us in each and every way. So we went straight into that theme. Eric Rude was, how should I say, sufficiently amused, I
Yes.
think.
It was one of those perfect
Sufficiently-
ones where, damn it, but that's good. I like it.
That's what we were going for, right?
Yep, exactly.
It pains me to enjoy this.
Yes, you're doing it well. So, yeah, Eric made up these lovely signs of talking about, have you been injured by Waitlist Gate? We'll
Did we
get you the
hang them?
compensation you deserve. Yeah, they were around. We'll get you the compensation
Okay.
you deserve, because here at Three Pedal and Mafia PC, we don't race unless you race. And so
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
you
there were
said
three
it wrong.
posters.
Yeah.
You said it wrong. It was wait a little skate.
You don't. I will never,
Waitlist Gate?
ever live that down.
Waitlist Gate.
So I'm sitting
Waitlist
there on Friday putting together these huge, well, they're not huge, they're large sort of posters of what's going on, 3 feet by 4 feet. And I'm using markers and I'm writing the whole thing out for a sandwich board for us to walk around and everything. And I spell the damn thing wrong. Instead of Waitlist Gate, it's
Wait'll
Gate.
sit gate.
Wait a
Waitlist
little
Gate.
skate.
I mixed the two
It's
letters.
the Dutch
and-
version.
So the joke,
But I-
have you been injured by your friend's poor spelling? We can get you the compensation you deserve.
Yep. So anyway, that's fair.
We
That's
wore
fair.
suits and ties for a lot of the weekend. I fixed the
Yep.
car
Your
Saturday
suit
night
was-
in my 3-piece suit.
Your suit was something
I
else.
went around to probably 40 people, 50 people, asking them if they felt harmed, did they feel hurt at all, emotionally or otherwise, and I would be handing out $100 bills to everybody, tell them this is just the start of it, and that we take all major credit cards for a retainer and all that good stuff. And I probably literally gave away 50 $100 bills, fake ones for that. And the little kids were coming up to me. He's like, "Hey, can I have another $100 bill?" I'm like, "Has your dad been injured by waitlist gate?" They're like, yeah. So it was good.
The one kid he introduced himself. He's such a polite kid. The kid on the
JJ?
scooter. Maybe. He
so.
was like, he looks at it like longingly, and he was like, I wish I could use this. Like, he's like this nice.
I got
little
big
kid.
plans for this money.
Right. I understood that it was not real, but it was like, oh, I wish this was real. We're like, yeah, so does everybody. But it's funny kids.
Yeah. So yeah, we got through tech. That was fun. It was a great. And then I don't know.
And over the weekend we proceeded,
drinking.
definitely. I had some arguments with Janice, who actually is an attorney. Some legal arguments about a proper service and different forms we were filing. Later on, I noticed a deposition of her client. We did all kinds of ridiculous.
There were a couple other people that tried that as well with you.
Yeah.
Right after the drivers' meeting, Chris served Eric Rude. So he served him right there in front of everybody. So that was good. He, of course, handed it right to Janice. Smart man.
Yep.
Doesn't take over.
Give it to your attorney when you get served. Absolutely.
Don't even rate it.
Yeah, we had fun with that all weekend. It was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that theme because it was sufficiently, the people got into it. We had a couple people who showed up were asking about charges and how they could be part of a class action lawsuit. One guy even got a sign about he wants to join the 3 p.m. lawsuit, the class action. I'm like, can't argue. People got into it.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's great. Well done.
Friday night was just typical shenanigans. Hot tub, shot wheel,
music,
Warburgers. Yep.
Warburgers.
Yep. Malort. Don't forget the Malort.
How can you?
Yep.
We had 2 or 3 Malort virgins.
Yeah, my nephew showed up to the never been to the racetrack before. Never had Malort before. We definitely had a few Malort faces for the first time. Which is always.
But we found the solve to Malort, something that helps. I bought my contribution to the bar for the shot wheel was peppermint schnapps, like peppermint cream.
It's like
liqueur.
a cream liqueur.
Cream
Pennsylvania
liqueur,
Dutch peppermint cream liqueur. It was terrible.
Cream liqueur. So I was one of those at the store of I think it was Total Wine, and I was like, oh, this sounds like I'm just loading everything into the cart and buying everything I can see. And so I'm just like, oh, this sounds great. And then I get it home and Chris is like, what are you ever going to do with that? But it kind of mellowed the Malort. So it was okay.
Well, so does an old style, but we didn't have any of those.
It does not. It makes it worse, actually. I'll tell you for a fact it does. Makes it bad. So yes, okay. Don't forget the Malort. Friday. Yeah, Friday was pretty mellow. It was great.
Yep. Yeah, the temperature swing from 68 to 38 was solid, right? The moment that sun hit,
absolutely.
It was like, ooh, get your jacket on. It was good. It was just so beautiful. So beautiful. We did a track walk that night.
Yep.
Friday night. Yep. That was always good to see it for right where you're at and remember that there's a lot more banking there than you think, or there are places there's less banking there than you think.
And just how
the surface is really degrading.
Surface.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're like 2-inch cracks in places.
So much. Yeah, they're gonna have to do something about that.
How old's the track surface? Do you guys know? Last time they did it?
1862, actually. They put it
I don't think it's been repaved. It has not been repaved fully since I have been going there, and that's been more than 20 years. So,
and there's not a whole lot of it that has some patches, but even the patches aren't that big. And they're in random spots, but not much.
Yep.
So it's on the to-do list.
The France family is thinking about when.
Yeah. All right. So Saturday morning, who started off?
Chris
started off.
Yeah, he wanted to start off because he wanted the yellows to learn the track.
Yes. And there was a lot of yellows that morning. There was a red flag for that Mercury on fire. Mm-hmm. This penalty box was quiet for about 20 minutes and then got busy in a hurry. and stayed very busy for a while. Shelly comes over to me, is like, "What is with y'all? I don't understand. Like, why is this such a problem?"
Yeah. She said they were everybody was arguing with her on Saturday. She's like, what do you think that's going to get you? How is it going to help? Nope. Doesn't help.
New England aggro. That's what we'll chalk it up to. But
120
it didn't
cars on
really.
a tight track doesn't help.
It didn't really stop. I mean, there were lulls, but not anything significant. Like I know, at least when you guys have judged, there have been times where you're just like, oh, okay, there's a little bit of time, but like there was somebody on all the time. Kim was on clean up people's spill mess. So she just had a little cup of kitty litter and just went around and stepped on stuff and moved it around. And then somebody would broom it up and then she'd start over again because that was also a consistent theme with, around the judges' penalty box.
So Chris had his. We kept him out a little longer than we originally planned because of the red flag and some things, but he brought it in exactly as it had left. All is well. Eric, you went out then.
Well, we had a mechanical.
Oh, he had a mechanical hookup. Yeah, he said the car after sitting for the red flag had a check engine light and it wouldn't accelerate well. He said it was in limp mode. I've never experienced in that car. I don't know what it does, but it just wouldn't go anywhere. So we said, all right, we'll cycle the kill switch. He said then the power steering stopped working too. It's an electric over hydraulic power steering. And so I said, all right, we'll cycle the kill switch and see what happens. He cycled the ignition key. That was okay. And he came in, we cycled the kill switch. Everything was working and on and nothing was loose or that we could see, obviously. So send him back out. And then Eric, you went out.
I went out. I almost got hit by the Cordoba once. And then I almost got hit by it a second time, almost really close to being hit by it that second time when he spun off the track in front of me. Then I came around and I had this similar mechanical issue where the throttle did nothing, just nothing. So I cycled everything, drove back in, and we talked about it. And of course, Chris just immediately said to me, "You cleared all the codes when you cycled it. Now I don't nothing to read." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Good call." Not that I could have gotten in, but still true. And then as I went back out, they said, "You have a black flag." And I said, "What? Black flag for what? What could I possibly have done?" So I went in and somebody said I had contact, which I did not, but I don't care.
There wasn't a mark on the car at that point either. So
yeah. I did not hit anything, but it doesn't matter. I think they saw the Cordoba spin in front of me and thought I was part of it.
We still shamed you.
And rightfully so. I deserve all the shame for
not doing anything.
Yeah, that reminds me to I'm putting the Mazda throttle pedal, a replacement throttle pedal, on my junkyard list because it's just a potentiometer. So if I just get another one of those, just to have as a spare, just in case. Great. Yep.
So I was out a little more than an hour, and then Chrissy went in.
Yes, you were supposed to be out longer than you were. Sorry, not sorry. You said I'm coming in. Well, okay, so we weren't trying to win anything at this race. Just we didn't really say that. But Eric comes in, he parks it, and I don't think I had put my suit on yet. I was kind of putzing around, and the car was in, and I was not ready. So we lost some time there. Not that it really matters. But I got in. Did about 2 hours. It was great. I had none of this electrical problem, which was wonderful. I did have check engine on the whole time. But I did fine. I did, because I took on Eric's extra hour and did just about my actual normal time. And it was fine. Good times, good. I was feeling pretty good. I had no complaints.
Nice long stint. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I still had plenty of gas left. We all did. Actually, we really didn't.
That car does very well on fuel at New Hampshire because there's no long straights and lots of just cornering time. So we burn way less fuel per hour there than at other tracks. So
yeah, it's at full for.
Yeah, if we'd been trying, we could have easily done 2-stop each day, no problem. But we weren't, so we didn't. And it was so nice to not care for a while.
It was so great. Fortunately, we brought cool and long underwear, and we ended up running cool shirts, which was good because we needed them. It was worth it. And it was fine. And Chris got in.
Yeah, mine was fine too. Nothing particularly exciting happened in my Saturday shift. Just drove around.
Yeah, that throttle.
Yeah, no problem. The check engine light never came out at all, which it does sometimes for there's a flapper valve in the intake manifold that sticks once in a while and that comes out. So that's normal. But it never did anything else weird at all. And we were running a crappy old set of tires. These are RS4 date codes 21 and 22, and they've got a lot of heat cycles on them, and we're just burning them off because we don't care. And so there's plenty of times I would come into the corner and I'd like the front, it's understeering. I'm just like holding the slip angle. Like, yep, that's some. If I add more, it changes nothing. So let's back that off a little bit. And that's fine. Still got it in the mid 128s, which was okay for that car, and never had a clean lap. So that was all right. Then Saturday night, we gave the car a once over while wearing a 3-piece suit. Eric and Chris helped me out with this very nicely while Chrissy was doing her potluck stuff. It had the right front wheel bearing was starting to get a little loose, and that bearing has been on for more than a year. So, okay, we can change that. So swap the knuckle with the spare loaded knuckle I have. Got that one on. Everything else looked fine. There was plenty of all of the fluids. Did a quick brake bleed on it, and we swapped to the better tires because after I asked everybody, what do you want to do? Chrissy said, better tires. So we put.
And then Eric came over and was like, no, these are fine. And I was like, no, you were supposed to say you wanted the better tires.
I'm so frugal. What the hell?
I mean, I know, but like, if we did one day, we burned them off. They were trash anyway. We could have not even run them at all. And I was like, all right, we already did one extra day of them. So you might as well put the new ones on.
Those are,
and
let's just be clear,
in the trash.
They're so much better.
They were so much better.
They're so much better. I mean,
I tires with one race versus ones that have been around for a while. Yeah,
3 years.
So our teammates that day, they started out, they got up into first place, and then they broke a bolt in the suspension in the rear, and they had to go source the bolt, and they were out of contention for winning Class A, but they weren't out of contention for winning most alcohol drunk that weekend. So that was good.
Didn't they say that they couldn't find the bolt? Greg was like, we went to 6 places, couldn't find the bolt, and then they went back out on track anyway. Like, I didn't hear how.
I don't remember how they fixed it. They found it.
Yeah, they modified a bolt to do it because it had a collared bolt and it was fine pitch.
Pretty sure it was a Bruceism I think Greg was like, I'm not sure that that's a great idea, but Bruce was like, I fixed it, and just was like, I'm getting in the car to go out and race. And okay.
And they had
great.
some hub issues too, like hub and bearing and race issues. So they had to get a different hub on one of the other ones too. So they had a couple issues that took them out on Saturday, but they were
leading for a hot minute.
Yep.
For Saturday. Yes, and
they
did.
Lamino was in the lead for a hot minute too.
He was. Yeah, they were close to the top all weekend, and despite the fact that they could only go like an hour and a half on fuel, so they were doing a lot of fueling, but they were driving really well. And who knew, the Volkswagen just kept running. So yeah,
for once,
for the weird stuff they did, like, oh, we put this fancy digital dash in, and that broke. Of course it did, Tom.
Right? They have. He's like, I spent 2 hours working on all this wiring, and all of a sudden we turn it on and it's dead. And like they had no gauges, they had no cameras, they had no live stream. They're all upset that everything just is all gone. But
what will the fans do?
Everyone else around them is like, this is exactly what we expected, actually. So, right. Yep.
Yeah, there was a lot of changing all day Saturday of the winners. But yes, Slow Mellows Integra was in first, I think, on Sunday, right?
They finished the end of the day in first with Scooby Doobies
really
in second and the Pumpkin Johnson's Toyota FRS in third. Yep.
Yeah, but everybody around there was moving around. So it was pretty exciting for the leader. And all of those are not really our typical leaders, which is fun.
Mm-hmm. Very.
Yep.
Yeah.
It takes Tally and Boston Winers out, and Amanda not being there. It's like, well, it's anybody's race practically. It's nice.
The Jardines trio were doing really well for a while, and they lost one of them, and then they smashed one of them on Sunday. So there was a couple of things going on there.
Yeah, Sunday
Yeah.
the pumpkin went into the wall hard.
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenging fix.
Yeah.
If so, but
Yeah.
I think they were hammering on it. But that's Sunday. We didn't get through Saturday yet.
How'd
we had-
potluck go Saturday?
We had a
night,
potluck.
Chrissy?
It was pretty good. We had a good amount of food and dessert. The people that were at the very end of the line were scraping the bottom, so we didn't have quite enough. We didn't have a whole lot. There was no leftovers, overs, I don't think.
Not much.
But yeah, so it was good. I appreciate very much as everybody brought. I don't think we had any potato salad. I don't
Nope.
think.
They're listening.
No, I looked.
Even despite Corey's sponsorship offer.
I don't. Pretty
for
sure
any
there
team
was
that brought potato
all
salad.
of the
No.
things I don't want. They didn't have, so we didn't have a half-eaten pizza. I didn't eat pizza. No chips. Really, no chips.
Yep.
No, it was great. So all the things I advertised, everybody listened. Most people brought their own spoons and crock pots, and there's plenty of meat and a couple salads. It was a lot of meat.
Yep.
Was really what it went down. But enough food, so that was good. And of course, there's drinks. People brought the gin and tonic. Guys brought the gin and tonics. The Moscow mules were around. There was a slushy
Slushies.
machine. So it was good. Potluck was great. Thanks for providing. I appreciate it every time.
That's awesome.
Yep. Oh, and I have to shout out to Eric for cleaning up. I didn't even know it happened. I walked over and was like, wow, everything is done. Very much appreciate it. I was mingling because I had not been mingling because I had been working the potluck. So it was very nice of you. Thank you.
It's all part of the deal, right? Everybody
It
pitches
is.
in.
Mhm.
It's wonderful.
Yep.
Okay, Sunday.
Well, hold on. Let's just
Saturday.
Saturday night. The
Saturday.
band came up and they said, "Hey, there's part of I forgot what track they were. The Deutsch Bags. The Deutsch Bags team said, "Hey, can we play?" And we're like, "I don't know, can you?" And so they set up and they played. And as a musician, I found it to be quite excellent that 20 somethings are playing rock music and doing a good job of it. I know they were loud. They were loud.
It was
But other than that,
loud.
but they were very proficient and I enjoyed it, and they were doing originals. And I was like, dang, this is the real deal, I guess. So I was impressed. But we
As
cut
a
them off. I cut
musician-
them off after a while there.
That's a nice compliment. Yeah, if they just turned it down just a little bit, like it would have been great if they were like background noise, but it was like you were in a concert and we were kind of like, so we're working, people were working, people are chatting, especially in the main garage because they were in judging. So it was where everybody really was after the potluck. So it was loud. Yes.
And they didn't play any Journey, and so that's really was a problem.
Damn it.
They should know better. Come on.
Damn
Next
it.
time. Next
So-
time.
So the rest of the night was the hot tub and douche jams and wheel o malort, and everybody was
dildo
having
bouncing
fun.
off
People
the
were coming in.
trampoline. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
All the boxes checked.
Yeah. Pretty
Yep,
much.
as much fun. We didn't play beer pong. I was prepared for beer pong, but I didn't really have a table for it. I think Greg has a
Yeah.
fold-out table for beer pong. We should have probably found that, but maybe he didn't have.
He was in no shape to get that
either.
out. It required walking and unfolding something. Come on.
Next time.
Yeah. Sunday, we
Sure.
started earlier. We did not have a driver's meeting, which I was surprised. I thought we would get yelled at for Saturday.
I figured we
shenanigans.
would.
We did not.
Yeah.
And it was a little quieter on Sunday, but not hugely so. Eric, you started Sunday. How was it?
I did. It was, for me, it was fan-friggin-tastic. I was no problem. I got sick the day before, but I got no sickness, no nothing. I could have stayed out there another 2 hours, but I was eating up time that wasn't mine at that point. So I was there. I was out more than 2 hours, right? I left it like
Yeah.
20 minutes before because of the setup, and then I came in like at 11:09 or whatever. So
You were,
And we
you were
let
still
you go.
going, and we're like, just let him go.
So
man.
happy.
Let him go. It's all right.
so happy.
What a
And
difference! What a difference!
And I was doing great. For me, it was doing great. I was about a second faster than what I've ever done before, which I know that's incremental, but it's still, for me, it was more comfort. And I was braking later. I was finding places, and I was really handling it, and so enjoyable. So thank you for that. Thank you for
Yay!
Yay.
Yay.
Yay, Eric!
Yeah.
Well, now we have to figure out why. I think is the frustrating part.
Yeah.
Going first.
Yeah,
you
I
don't
did some
go in
stupid
first.
things
You
on
go
Friday
first.
night.
No
Right?
way.
I did some. I did. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh, well.
Sounds like it was a Jersey repeat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
I
I'll
think
figure
Chris-
it out. I'll get.
Chris went out for he did 2 hours out there and problem free, had a good time, everything worked. Okay. Chrissy got in at what, 1:30?
About that.
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. You and
Yeah,
I
'cause we
split the
ended
last 3
earlier.
hours.
Right. Yeah, 1 o'clock. It was fine, busy, and really, yeah, the racing. I think it's probably pretty consistent. I mean, you think 120 cars it is a lot, but there were times where you could go through a corner and you weren't racing somebody. I mean, fortunately, the Mazda is fast enough that it keeps up with most. I literally got out of the way for the front runners, for the people I don't want to deal with. Like that, we knew that there was a couple that were trying to win and they were in 15th, and you're just like, just get around me. Like, I'm not even interested. But other than that, the car gets around most cars. So like it feels busy. I also enjoy battling with traffic, so that helps. But it was fine. Like it was, racing was fine. I have an old helmet with I still wear headphones. Halfway through my stint, I say, Chris, I'm pretty positive there is an exhaust leak. And he can't hear because his helmet is a brand new one and it is fancy, and you can't even have a conversation with him because it's so quiet. So he says it got louder, just keep driving. It didn't kill me, so that's great.
It wasn't nearly as bad as the last exhaust leak.
It was not, but I was thinking about it, and I was trying to figure out if the headache was from too much drinking the day before or because it's killing me. So, but again, my husband's already said, just keep driving. So I did, and I kept driving. And then I was like,
it was a very mild exhaust leak.
I could hear the difference. So I wasn't sure how bad it was because I heard it happen. I could tell the difference. So that's where I wasn't sure if it was that bad. It was going to kill me.
Die?
I didn't die. So that's great. So also previously we had done a really good job of cleaning up. So before Chris and I both got in the car, the paddock was really clean. The garage was basically empty of everything. So we had, knowing that we have a long tow home, we both did a good job of cleaning up, which is kind of nice. So
we were packed the best we've ever been packed, which is nice.
Yeah. Couple coolers, couple boxes. When I was in the car, you cleaned up more of both places. And by the time I got out of the car, I grabbed a quick shower and had a couple more random bits in both places and basically put it all together.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Was it less aggro on Sunday?
Yes.
Until the last 20 minutes.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last 20 minutes was like a knife fight. It was like unreasonably. So I'm like, what the hell are you people doing? And I'm just like, all right, fine. And on the second to last lap, coming into turn 3, which is coming hard rights to go up the hill, right? I'm going into it on the far right, 3 wide. 3 wide is already pushing it at that corner. Right? Two is comfortable, 3 is pushing it. And wouldn't you know, some guy who'd been clearly aggressive behind me, but I thought I had left him in a red Mark II Golf, decided to try to make it 4 wide going through that corner. Because that's definitely not going to work. But he's like, I'm going to go 4 wide there. Guess what? There's a tire wall or me, and he bumps into the back side doors of the Mazda. It's so stupid. Like, what are you doing? But usually if you make a mistake like that, you calm down a little bit. You're like, oh man, I made a mistake. No. He is hard up back again, like in for the bowl. He's trying to like cut me off again and pass him. Like, dude, what did I do? I didn't step on your kitten. Like, calm down.
And he's not winning anything.
No,
and
he's fighting for 43rd or something. Like, it doesn't matter. So I finally just like, I back up. I'm like, dude, just go. I don't want to be anywhere near you. You're obviously a hot mess. So we come out of the bowl, through the uphill section and go back down the hill to cross the track at turn 10. And wouldn't you know it, he totally spins out in turn 10 to the right toward a car that is stopped. It was stopped in a very safe place a long way from the track. And there was a corner worker walking over to them to make sure they're okay. This is like the last lap. And this guy spins right off toward them because he's an asshole and just super, super aggro for no reason. So now we've got dents in the right side doors. I got to finish banging out. This corner worker and poor guy in a parked car almost got hit. Like, there's no reason for this, people. Like, no, calm down. You were not winning anything at all. There was no reason for that.
It's part of why I don't like to close.
No reason.
Yeah. And
yeah.
So that was it. And
yep. So our friends in Towley.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Go.
They I don't know when they actually started.
We started to see
them
around
but they
11.
were still.
That's when
because I had come in and they hadn't gone out yet.
Yeah. Darren wandered out of the trailer first. And Bruce wasn't too far behind. And
Darren was looking was
slow.
Was careful about everything. One of those like all senses are a problem at the moment kind of face. So
and of course when Darren's there, they leave it up on jack stands overnight.
I was gonna say, did he have to put the tires on first?
No, the tires were on it at least. But
it was on jack stands. Okay.
Didn't you clean out all the empties in the car?
The morning. Yep, we cleaned out all the empties on and around the car. Yep.
Yeah.
But they did very, very nicely. They let me take her out for like 30 minutes or so. So I got to experience
Greg was
Towley,
like, yeah, I'm not going in. And Bruce was like, yeah, my back hurts. Darren was like, yeah, I've done my shift today. I'm okay. So...
Yeah, and actually Greg asked me, but I had just gotten out and I kind of had this half a headache. So I was like, I'm just not feeling it. If I'm going to be in Towley, I need to make sure that I'm right on. And that was not the time, but it would have been great to go and get into Towley. I'd not been in. So so they got a lot of racing in this weekend.
Yeah. How was your shift out in Towley there, Eric?
It's a lot to think about because you get more limits, a lot more power. People did get out of the way for me more because they know Towley, right? Yeah. And I could just power through anything. Really, I was not pushing it at all. Bruce told me to be careful downshifting, and because I'll break the rears loose. I got the rears loose once, and I was like, okay, settle down a little, right? But that car is amazingly capable, hugely powerful. The brakes are like. And you're there, and it's no wonder it wins.
It's funny because I spent a long time behind you because I was in, and when you were in Towley, and there was a lot of traffic where we were, and it was funny watching you a couple of hard cars ahead of me, and we had a couple of good long yellows too. So that's when it was when things kind of bunched up. I think people were confused because you're not Darren. So you know, right, but like people don't know who's in the car, so you're just kind of like expecting you to just be gone, and then there's just cars actually just trying to like work around you, not actually pass you, but just they're like all kind of like why is Towley even in this party right that's happening right now. Just the observation from 3 cars back is what was happening during your stint.
Yeah. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, so I liked the experience.
Cool.
Yeah. So we were all packed ready to go once the race was over and you got hit and we realized we had an exhaust leak and pulled it in the trailer and put some gas in it. Then put it in the trailer. Watched the awards, except somebody said, "Gotta go." You left.
Oh yeah.
Towley left before awards.
What?
They knew they weren't getting anything.
Well, no, but typically you stay.
Yeah, they wanted to go. I'm like, okay. I mean, I really couldn't argue because for me, I had to get all the way to Virginia that night. So, we took off before awards, which is sad for me because I don't ever like to do that. But it is what it is. We did it. We did it.
Yeah, Chrissy and I were rolling the earliest we've ever left from New Hampshire. We were rolling out of the stadium out of the track at 5:15. It was unbelievable. We've never ever done that. So, yeah,
That's great.
Great.
Because
Yeah.
you got a little bit of a toe too.
7.5.
We got home at 12:30, but
12:30, yeah.
completely uneventful ride home, except for a longer than it should have been dinner stop to get to the place where it was. But otherwise, no issues, no traffic, no nothing, which is wonderful. And then slept in
Especially
Monday morning,
since-
unpacked Monday before going to work, and then after work. And now we're pretty well unpacked, except I guess still got to get the car out of the trailer and see what else is broken, aside from an exhaust leak and some doors I got to bang a little straighter. So it felt
Lots
fine
of
the other
race
day.
rubber remover needed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's just sheet metal.
it seems like it.
It is. Yeah. Well, except for that bottom valance might need. I think we
Yeah,
need
that'll
one.
that'll take a couple self-tapping screws, and we'll get that back on.
Or we just start over again because that one's it's not looking great.
Yeah,
But all in all,
Yeah, all
what
in
a
all.
gorgeous, fantastic, such a great weekend. So,
Fun,
and the
easy,
racing and all the
low-key.
people.
Mhm.
yeah, just good times.
Yeah.
Good, like felt great.
Yep.
And I did not expect
Love
to
it,
win
love it.
Halloween Meets Gasoline. We didn't nearly have the size of the entire union behind us chanting, and nor did we import a car previously owned by a guy named
played
Slim
ABBA,
Borgud,
and
who was
that was-
a drummer for ABBA and a Formula One racer, and they had his whole history and pictures of him, and I'm like, this day
and
deserved it.
there's right,
Yeah.
like there's a whole story on the hood, and they had like they kept carrying around the picture of the guy, and they're like, it's this guy, and then they're having this war about the union, and then they
Have tea.
start chanting and stuff. Like, no, it was they were right across and over one from us, so like we saw it all. So it was they're
Yeah.
good guys.
One thing I was proud of when we were doing our tech in, one of the judges, I think it was Shelley, wrote on our hood, you guys are too good at being lawyers.
That was Mary. Yeah,
It was
Mary. Oh, yeah, Mary did it. That's right. You guys are
had-
too good at being lawyers, which I thought was funny because they're like, yeah, you're right. We are really a pain in the ass. And I would occasionally go and try to represent people when black flags come, and they would say, if he doesn't get out of here, I'm going to make it worse for you.
yep. And we ended up 22nd overall for completely not trying and coming into the pits too much, and yeah, just having a good time.
Yeah, like pit stops that weren't the best. They were okay, but we didn't put much gas in it. That helped too. So yeah, like we probably could have done better, and who cares really? Because we're not fighting for 18th.
Yeah, Sunday we went from like 50th to 22nd. I mean, we like right down there. It was Saturday was what we had a couple of issues, and
Attrition helps.
One of them.
So that's good.
Yeah, attrition.
Awesome.
Cool.
Amazing. Love it.
All right.
Well, thanks for listening to our story.
Yeah. Chrissy, do you have any safety topics that came up this weekend that you want to talk about?
This weekend,
Aside from don't go 4 wide into turn 3, that's a nice safety
yeah,
topic.
just don't do
people.
that. Yeah, don't hit
drink-
people.
Don't alert.
Don't drink.
Don't drink
Don't drink-
Malort.
Don't drink too much Malort. You got to have at least
Don't-
some. Come on.
Right. If you just drink Malort, that's one thing. Don't drink beer all night and then drink Diplomatico. That's the real answer. And then try to go to work on Friday.
Yeah. No mixing. Yeah.
Diplomatico first.
I mean, yes, but I had started drinking before dinner and you didn't show up until 10 o'clock. So I
was late. See, I'm to blame.
I
See?
know. I don't know. I use Jack stands. That's always a good one.
I'm gonna say one thing about safety. Driving home after races is something you got to pay attention to. I almost had a crash when I was on like literally a quarter mile from my house at 3 a.m. on Monday morning. I woke up. I was literally on the sort of in a ditch, driving along 35 miles an hour, heading towards the culvert and a post box, but I was able to get myself out of it. And I was almost home, like 1 minute from my house.
That's probably
And
why. It's because your adrenaline stopped because you felt comfortable because you were home. Like, that's
It's
okay.
probably true. But it's pull over somewhere. I should have pulled over like in Delaware and slept for an hour or something. I should have done something. So just it's worth the hotel room or to take off the morning, which I did. And of course I was at work at 8 o'clock. So it's all just,
no.
that's the way it is for now. It'll get better.
Yep. Pull over, take a nap.
Yep.
For
Our
sure.
next tow vehicle is going to be one of these new GM trucks with auto cruise or super cruise that works with towing.
Super Cruise.
With
Yep.
towing, right? It's okay. It will do the driving.
Paintless Matt bought one. He loves it. He swears by it.
Every racer would say, okay. Very fortunately, Chris has got a poker called Me. So if we listen to podcasts too long, I come up with questions to talk to him about. And fortunately, we watched F1 the whole way home. He listened, I watched. But we watched
between
the
sprints
iPad.
and quali and race and all that junk. That took a lot of time up. That was good. Something different.
Yeah. Yes. And it was, yeah. So that helps. But if you don't have anybody to talk to you, then that doesn't help you. Sorry. Yeah, that's a good one. And bad one if you also were to get an accident. So that's terrible.
Yep. Glad you didn't die, Eric. Yay.
Didn't die. Yay!
Yep.
Very happy.
All right.
Very happy.
Do we
Not
know-
dead.
Do we know what we're talking about next week?
Is this
We
right?
do.
I think we do. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
okay.
right.
We'll oh, okay, it's me, isn't it? Jeff Stobbs is coming to talk about Lemons Rally. So new schedule's out. Let's talk about it. It'll be great.
Sounds
Have
good.
you-
Those
That'd be
are
amazing.
fun. If you haven't done one, you should. They're just a good time. Yeah.
Maybe do Vegas.
It's on my list. 2025. I'm going to do one.
Excellent.
Well, we'll
I
talk about
think
it.
fall
Vegas.
failage. Fall failage. I think is the one I want to go for.
Excellent. All right.
All right.
Well, I think that's all from us this week. And Mental is going to play the outro. So, Mental, you can cut in here anywhere you want and play that outro.
Thanks for your help. Chris is
Okay.
incompetent.
I am.
Oh.
Oh no, you did a fine job. Thank you. You did a fine job.
out.
We need Mental to play that.
Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, and building because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hated us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text us at 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook under Everyone Racers, or even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up, unless, like us, there is no shiny side, then just keep those wheels down.